Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. It is 6 o'clock. 6:02 at this time. I have a message from our mayor. Good evening, everyone. In his absence, Mayor Prinsurga has asked me to chair this evening's City Commission meeting. Today, he's away at Washington, D.C. for a convening of mayors at the U.S. Department of Transportation. There, he'll be meeting with Deputy Secretary Charles Small and other Department of Transportation officials to learn how our city can benefit from the billions of infrastructure dollars made available through the bipartisan infrastructure law, $660 billion, the Inflation Reduction Act, $10 billion, and the American Rescue Plan Act, including a variety of other programs from the Secretary's office. Given that long-term planning and investing in our local infrastructure is one of our highest priorities, this trip is essential to opening the doors to federal infrastructure dollars to our city. Mayor Prinsurga is scheduled to be back in town tomorrow. Now we're going to go ahead and get started with roll call.
Mayor Prinsurga is absent. Vice Mayor Cruz.
Present.
Commissioner Hay.
Present.
Commissioner Turkin.
Present.
Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Vice Mayor Cruz, you have a quorum.
Perfect. We're going to go ahead and do our invocation by Pastor Chuck Brennan from Gateway Community Church.
Good evening, commissioners and everybody here. Join me in prayer, please. Dear Father God, we thank you for being a God who hears prayers and answers prayers. You tell us to pray. We have not because we ask not. So help us to ask in your will for the many things and many needs that we have in our lives. Lord, I pray for our mayor and our commissioners and all of our service people in Boynton Beach for your protection for them. Lord, help them in their family life or personal life. Help them in their daily job to be protected and be safe, and protect us as well. Lord, I pray for the citizens of Boynton Beach. May our city be one that calls upon God for a real spiritual renewal and revival in our homes, our schools, and our general neighborhoods. Lord, we want to look to you for all good things. You've told us that good things happen when we pray, and good things don't happen when we don't pray. So Lord, help us all here today to begin a holy habit of praying every day for God's will to be done in our lives. And I pray for this meeting tonight. All these issues are important, and the people coming to find an answer or get guidance, and give our commissioners wisdom and strength to see the road ahead and the road right here and now. So bless us. We thank you for loving us. No one loves us like you do. You've assessed us. We're valuable. We count. Our lives count. So we thank you in the mighty name of your Son, Christ. Amen. Amen.
Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Hay.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we continue, I'll go ahead and read the rules of the quorum. Any person who disrupts the meeting while addressing the commission may be ordered by the presiding officer to cease further comments and or step down from the podium. Failure to discontinue comments or step down when so ordered shall be treated as continuing disruption of the public meeting. An order by the presiding officer issued to control the decorum of the meeting is binding, unless overruled by the majority vote of the commission members present. Now we're going to move on to informational items by the members of the City Commission, starting with Commissioner Kelly.
I have no disclosures. I have no informational items and no disclosures.
I have no amendments or informational items.
And Commissioner Hay.
Yeah, I do want to thank the city for what they did on yesterday for MLK celebration. We got out there 8 o'clock in the morning in cold weather. And we did a cleanup of the Cherry Hill area. And then we came back at noon at Sarah Sims Park for a great celebration. The only downside was that I just hope that more of you would come and attend. It was really an outstanding affair. Other than that, I have no disclosures. And that's all I have, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. I did want to make an announcement. We have an announcement regarding federal appropriations for the radio communications tower. I'm really excited to announce that the city is going to be receiving over $1 million in federal funding for a radio communications tower. I do want to acknowledge Congresswoman Lois Frankel for championing this initiative and helping us secure these funds. Replacing this tower is going to be crucial for maintaining our city's public safety communications network, and we're very grateful to be receiving these funds from the federal government. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move on to additions, deletions, and corrections to the agenda. Does anybody have any amendments to the agenda? Commissioner Kelly?
Vice Mayor, I would like to add under new business a discussion for us to discuss potentially adding in advance of the budget year officers to their allocation for the police department.
Okay, so we're going to add that to 11B. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, Commissioner Turking. Any additions, changes? Commissioner Hay?
No, I don't have any.
All right, I have nothing else. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Now we're going to move all over to, we already did the informational items. We're going to move on to 3 announcements, community and special events and presentations. We have our city manager for 3A introducing our new human resources and risk management director, Tennille DeCoste.
Yes, Vice Mayor, Ms. Tennille DeCoste, she has over 20 years experience in human resources. She chairs the Human Resources Board here in Palm Beach County. We got her from PalmTran. We might have stole her from PalmTran, so I'm not apologizing for that. She's an amazing person. Since she's started probably 2 weeks ago, she's already started revamping the city's health insurance plans, working with the city's brokers. She's looked at quite a few cost savings through human resources and stuff like that. So without further ado, I want to bring her up to the podium and let her speak for herself.
Thank you, City Manager. Good evening, Vice Mayor and Commissioner. I'm Tennille DeCoste, so excited to be with this beautiful city of Boynton Beach. Happy to join the family. I am getting stuff done because I do see a lot of savings that will help our residents and our city altogether, and just making it better for our employees.
Thank you so much. We love savings and we love saving taxpayer dollars. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Welcome to the team.
Welcome
Thank
to
you,
the
sir.
city.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for attending our Martin Luther King event yesterday. I saw you there.
Vice Mayor, I had
yes,
one
sir.
more thing. Before we go any further, I actually needed to do an addition for travel plans for the commissioners under 5, I guess we could add it 5D.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, City Manager. Can I move forward now with B? Okay, we're good. Okay.
Unless there's an objection, you can
Okay, move
move through
forward.
it.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and go to 3B, announcement, Oceanfront Park, Boynton Beach Dog Potty on the ocean on the beach will be Saturday, January 21st, 2023 from 9 a.m. to noon at Oceanfront Park, located at 6415 North Ocean Boulevard. This is the third of our 4 scheduled events being held the third Saturday of each month through February. This is a free event for all well-behaved licensed dogs and their owners. Dogs will be allowed off leash in a designated fenced area. Parking will be free during the Oceanfront Park for all beach patrons from 9 a.m. to noon. Announcement C, The Immortal Four Chaplains Memorial Service will be hosted by the Boynton Beach Veterans Task Force and the City of Boynton Beach on Saturday, January 29th, 2023, starting at 2:00 p.m. The service will be held at First Presbyterian Church of Boynton Beach, located at 235 Southwest 6th Avenue on February 6th, starting at 2:00, and it is open to the public. Announcement D, homestead exemption outreach will be at City Hall Thursday, January 26th, and Thursday, February 23rd, from 9:00 to 10:00 in the morning. Filing assistance will be provided by the Palm Beach County Property Appraiser's Office. I do have a quick questions for staff. It says it's going to be at City Hall, but do we know, is there a suite number? Is it going to be at the front towards where the library is, or where exactly can the residents show up to get the help with the homestead exemption?
Hi, Laura Landsberg, Public Information Officer for the city. The Palm Beach County Properties Appraiser will be at the community room on those dates that you announced from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. No appointment is necessary, and the community is invited to come for assistance in filing for the homestead exemption. They are encouraged to bring relevant documents, and those are listed on our website at boynton-beach.org/exemption.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to E, announcement by Glenn Wise, Public Arts.
Vice Mayor.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What, for the, Laura, before you disappear, for the residents who maybe don't have internet access, who can they contact? Can they call somebody to get that information as far as what they need to bring with them?
Sure. I don't have the phone number on me right now, but we do have flyers in the back of the room, and really just reaching out to the Palm Beach County Properties Appraiser's Office can provide them with the information that they need in terms of what they should bring. And again, if they need any assistance, they can call me personally and I can give them information. My number is 561-742-6019. I can direct them to the Palm Beach County Properties Appraiser's Office, or I can also provide the information that's listed on the website if they don't have access. And we did send a postcard with this information to the seniors who qualify for the recent exemption increase that the commission passed. So they have been calling us in response to that, and the word is getting out too, that those who qualify for that can also obtain assistance in getting the information they need.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you for
You're
sharing
welcome.
that information. Okay, is Glenn Wise for item E available? He's the Public Arts Manager, and he's going to talk about the 2023 Kinetic Biennial event received a National Endowment for the Arts grant.
Madam Chair and the rest of the commission and the city manager, thank you very much for letting me present today, but I also present with Cortland McGuire and Ellen Jones, who are from the Arts Advisory Board that have helped make this possible. And so I don't know if the presentation is going to go up on the screen.
Catherine, do we have a presentation?
Does it? There we go.
Thank you.
But tonight's announcement has to do with the Kinetic, but we're really here tonight to say that the National Endowment for the Arts awarded the city of Boynton Beach a $20,000 grant to support the Kinetic and other arts events. This is the first time that the city has received a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts, which is the primary funder of arts organizations and artists in the United States. It is a great honor and a statement of quality of what the arts program has built during the last 15 years since 2007. So I think we're very pleased to have this. But also I want to mention that we have been also very moving forward with other grants. We received a $15,000 grant from South Arts to support the Unity Project in collaboration with the Heart of Boynton. And I think I saw Victor Norfus here, who's been working with us on that. That'll be a project in 2024. So you also have to think out long term. And we were recommended for a $25,000 grant from the state of Florida Cultural Affairs Grant. If you have any connections with the governor, please, push push it forward. And I just so for the general public, you can see a little bit about the Kinetic Art Show. So if we just kind of go quickly, the Kinetic Art Show opens in 2 weeks. It's on Saturday and Sunday, the 28th and 29th. It includes up to 34 artworks outside in which you can visit over the next 10 months, but also during that day, next slides, and you can see, just kind of move through. This is the location. We've tried to spread them out. We've also included symbols for all the restaurants and cafes and other places so that when people are here, we noticed in 2021, a lot of people did have business with the restaurants and the cafes as a result of Kinetic, so we want to keep that going. Next slide. These are just some of the artworks, one from New Orleans, one from England. We're building on site. Next. This is a strange one where people are going to be allowed to throw rocks at a work of art because it's kinetic. It's about motion. And then a spiraling morning glory. Next. Kind of historic work by an artist who's deceased, and a bunch of flying flowers. Next. A kind of hairy archway which blows in the wind, and a ball that looks like it's falling out to the ground. Next. You may have seen already the backdrop at the amphitheater, designed by Fort Lauderdale artist Lawrence Gartell, and also from Brooklyn, Danielle Fraser's Hammer and Nail as it chases each other, like you may have seen, in many of them. There's going to be some artwork from Indonesia. And an artist, actually a dentist from Atlanta, who's been building bicycle wheels, who's the inspiration for also the kids' art that we're now doing at Galaxy Elementary, because they will also be making bicycle wheels under his system. In 2 months, we will add to the Kinetic, we will add spinning sailfish. They're now almost produced completely in Fort Lauderdale, and then the artists will be painting them as a new event. So wait in March and you'll see those. And if you go down to the Boynton Beach Extension, you'll see the new barrier that we put up near the marina. Next. And then just a series of all the work that's going to be inside that people can see. Next. And we will also, as I said, we'll have the Galaxy Elementary schools, and we'll also have videos of work from all over the world that you can't see because we can't afford to bring it here. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn, and thank you to our arts board.
Glenn? Do you plan to keep any of this art around after Sunday? Because I know we always have kids come down from Palm Beach County just to look at the Kinetic display, and they have tests and exam with the instructors. Just curious as to, are we going to keep any of that around like we've done in the past?
Yes, all the artwork that is outside will be around until next November, barring any serious hurricanes. Okay.
Don't say that word. Okay. Okay.
Anything else
Thanks,
I can help
Glenn.
anyone?
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. We're going to move on to item F. We're going to present a certificate of achievement to Mividia Joseph for successfully earning a high school diploma from Smart Horizons through our library's career online high school program. Congratulations. And now I'm going to come down and we're going to take a picture.
Hi, Jeannie Taylor, Assistant Library Director. Mividia is our 15th graduate in this program. We're very proud of her. She has also achieved, besides a fully accredited high school diploma, a career certificate in home health care. Her plans are to go to college and become a nurse. We're particularly proud of the effort that she put in because they have 18 months to do this program. And she did have some credits transferred in, but she completed the program in 4 months.
Wow.
And so we're very proud of her, and we wanted to celebrate with her and her family.
Very good.
I'd like to say thank you. It was very hard for me because I'm a single mom and I'm working to take care of my kids and working at night to accomplish this. It wasn't easy, but I made it too. I'm so happy and proud of myself. Thank you so much.
We're so proud of you. Thank you. That is wonderful. All right. Now we're going to move on to public audience.
Vice Mayor Cruz?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
We have one more acknowledgement that we need to.
Thank you.
You're
Do you
welcome.
want to read it into the record?
Sure. I'd like to acknowledge Vice Mayor Cruz and Commissioner Kelly on receiving their certificate of completion from the Florida League of Cities Institute of Municipal Elected Officials Conference in October. The primary objective of the institute is to provide elected municipal officials with an intensive academic program that will assist them in effectively meeting the requirements of their elected roles. The program offers a comprehensive overview of Florida municipal government presented by faculty of top professionals in the field. So congratulations to you both.
Thank you, City Clerk. Thank you, City Clerk. Now we're going to move on to public audience. Since, before I forget, I know we do have a document that we received from the public that we should read into the record. Do you just want to get that out of the way first?
Okay, so this was sent in from Danny Farrell, who could not be here tonight and could not be on Zoom. He says, "Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak this evening. Normally, I like to address some good or positive news about our community, but I won't be doing that tonight. Tonight, I'm going to address what happened at the last commission meeting and meetings before that. A group of residents, one after another, felt the need to come up to this podium to let us all know how much the LGBTQ community is less than the rest of the community and how we are social outcasts who only pervert children. This is nothing new and is something I have dealt with most of my life, but what they did last week was beyond anything I have ever been subjected to. We are just a group of citizens that are hard workers, raising families and married just like everyone else by the laws of the United States. This open and constant hatred for the LGBTQ community that is demonstrated by this group goes beyond hate and is very dangerous for those of us who love and live in the city. Luckily, these few people who spoke do not represent the majority of the city of Boynton Beach. Boynton Beach is a loving, caring community that accepts everyone for who we are, and being gay is just a part of who we are. That is not what we are. I am very proud to stand up here tonight as husband, son, brother, uncle, veteran, and proud and out citizen of Boynton Beach."
Thank you, City Clerk. Now we're going to go ahead and open it for in-person public audience. You can make a line either at the right side or the left side. Every individual speaker will be limited to 3-minute presentations. And I'm going to go ahead and start on my left, sir.
Okay, my name is Brother Victor Norfus. I live at 225 Northwest 6th Avenue, Boynton Beach, Florida. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out to the MLK event. This was my first time being the chair of all the events that were going on out there. I tried to direct it towards the children because I know the same old guys like us always are going to come out there, but we want something for the young people so that they will be coming out next year. I was also going to ask that you start planning that when you plan the Christmas parade. That way you already have a list and you can already start that because we started in December, 1 month. Next thing I want to thank you for is for putting me on the Historic Preservation Board. And I already have a complaint. Barton Cemetery, currently around the tree, it's unkept. My great aunt, Euterpe Thompson, she's buried there. My grandfather, Tom Norfus, he's buried back by the wall. And my uncle Bobby, who was a child, he's buried there. I still go over there and clean around my aunt Euterpe's grave. My grandfather's grave is no more. But what I'd like for you to do is just clean the whole area and not just around it and leave the center where the tree is all bushes and weeds. Still got time. Okay. Moving on from there, I myself am a Black Seminole. We had our 185th Black Seminole reunion down in Jupiter, where we had a lot of participation from around the nation and around the Caribbean. We had people from Bahamas. We had people from Mexico. We had people from Cuba. We had people from Detroit and Oklahoma and places you wouldn't think that descendants of Seminoles ran to, but that's where they went to. One thing I want to ask the city is to bring back, and I'm glad that someone mentioned the LGBTQ, is to bring back the Heritage Celebration. Okay, the Heritage Celebration was a celebration of our multicultural heritage, but that grew out of Black Awareness Day. Black Awareness Day grew out of opposition to the police because they had shot up someone and left them on the ground for a long time. So the Heritage Celebration addresses some of these issues that we're talking about right now, the young man that was killed on a motorcycle, the LGBT negative comments. So I'm asking that be brought back. Also on a historical presence, Chachi's Village, Black Seminole Village, was the first settlement in West Palm Beach in 1830s. I think my time is about up. So God bless everyone. You have a nice evening.
Now we're going to go to my right. Susan.
I'll delete this.
You and I need to talk. Okay, please make sure you keep one for the mayor since he likes data. So my name is Susan Oyer. I live in the city of Boynton. I was remiss in forgetting to tell Commissioner Turkin, thank you for judging my neighborhood's Christmas and holiday decorations. You did an outstanding job. Thank you. It was really tough because we had a lot of entrants. And I know you weren't feeling well. I know I was down and out in most of December too. So I want to say thank you for going out and judging even while you were sick. So thank you. And I'm sorry I forgot to mention that. When I'm railing on against you guys, some of the times I have to say something nice too. So what this is I brought up in P&D a few years ago when I was on the board, the White Roof Project. We went through and the commission approved white roofs for commercial. It's one of the aspects of the green list that gets checked off where you have to do a certain amount of green things to move forward on anything. So it's time to start tackling the residential. So this is just a variety of things I found today. There's actually a white roof project. It's going on. It goes on in India. Large parts of the country, India do it. New York City has an official program. It's kind of a umbrella where all these different groups go under, and they push converting houses back to white roofs to combat global warming. I know Commissioner Hayes been here long enough to remember every house had a white roof here in South Florida. And they did some studies and I was looking for it and couldn't find it. They did a graphic in the newspaper years ago on it. If we went back to white roofs in South Florida and the southeastern part of the US, like it was when some of us were kids, it's the equivalent of taking every car in this country off the road. That's the impact it makes on global warming. I know I would suggest that we encourage people to do the white shingles. There's Geico, which is a silicone paint, which is highly reflective, has a 50-year warranty. Do that on all the flat roofs. You can do white metal. You can use white reflective roofing paint on your house. I did that. It lowered my electric bills $25 a month. It was the cost of a can of paint every month saved on my electric bill, and they sell it at Home Depot. We should be looking at doing a fast track permit, and people who choose to do their roofs in other colors, we should be moving forward on this and being the leaders we are in sustainability. And we should have people pay an impact fee for doing a roof color other than white in this city. Or they can donate 10 trees through our tree program because they're approximately, $225 a tree, $227 a tree. And let's put some teeth behind this and, drag out their permits, make it take a while. Let's have a real incentive to go for white roofs.
Thank
And
you
this
for
is
your
just the
time.
beginning of my discussion. Thank you.
Now I'm going to go ahead and go to my left.
My name is Clovis Moody. I reside at 3638 Southeast 2nd Street in Boynton Beach. I am a long-term resident of Boynton, and over the years, I have seen the difference that public art makes in the city of Boynton. As I said the other night at a meeting, I have seen 3 libraries, so I've been around for a long time here in Boynton, and public art does make a difference. I appreciate the support of the public. I appreciate the support of the commissioner, and I appreciate the staff that helps to make Boynton the beautiful city that it is. We all benefit from public art. And also, we should also note that there's a lot of science now regarding art and its benefits to us as individuals. So public art does have its place. And the thing about public art is that, you can enjoy it regardless of your money because it's there for everyone to see and to enjoy. So I support the public arts staff and what they're doing. I think they're doing a fantastic job. I congratulate them on being able to seek out and get the grants they've gotten this year. And I also want to invite everybody in Boynton to come out to the 2023 Kinetic Biennial. It is going to be a lot of fun. And did I say I'm the vice chairperson of the Arts Board? If I did not say that, I am. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's clear. Yep. We're going to move on to the right.
Cindy Falco di Corrado. I want to premise this with I have 2 sisters who are lesbians who I love very dearly. And because I'm a Christian, they've chosen to reject me, which is fine. Everybody has a choice. So I want to say that it's not against any man or woman. It's against a lifestyle that's made into a religion that has preeminence over every other religion and has been able to get away with having an insignia on our city road, which was not permitted and which is not legal. As I shared with you last week, Mayor and council members, the fact is that your oath of office is a judicial fact that you know the law. You are to know the law. Therefore, any violation for the Constitution as supreme law is intentional and therefore it's criminal. Article 6. Fact that your authority is limited by the Constitution of the United States by the Enclave Clause, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, ordering things done outside of your jurisdictional lines is criminal. It is quite obvious that the line has been crossed. Study Fort Leavenworth Railroad Company versus Lowe's, 114 U.S. 525 of 1885. Fact that our forefathers believed in nature's God, and some constitutions were specific in stating this country was for Christians. Fact, the Geneva Bible was more popular than any King's Law book, as the Geneva Bible was the law. Fact that man's blood was shed to honor man's conscience, religious worship, to bring God's law to earth, common law, law of equity, trial by jury. Some do worship sex, money, and some same-sex marriage, but many worship the principles of the 10 Commandments and the acclaim of God, Jesus Christ, his Son, to which you have entered to interfere in man's worship with this declaration. The LGBTQ can worship in their jurisdiction, but cannot force their religious beliefs on any other people, especially using public property or funds. Jurisdiction understanding the Fort Leavenworth Railroad Company versus Lowe, 114 U.S. 525 of 1885, all causes involved. To force this declaration of worship on the public at large without the laws of the jurisdiction involved is criminal. I'm here as my forefathers would be to make a declaration of the tyrant city council and mayor to need to be removed and charged for criminal activity if the law is not honored. Requesting your cooperation to correct this matter or the authority of our constitutional agreement will prevail in this matter. There is only one constitutional provision to do that. So I'm asking you, I came here last month on January the 3rd, and I inquired and gave a month for this to be done. I noticed it's still in the road. That would put it at February the 3rd. Now, there was no permit, there was no information. I did want to make known that I had emailed and asked for a FOIA on December the 19th, 2022. As of today, I got it at 1.
Your time's
something.
up. Thank you.
I appreciate a timely manner of answering my questions. Thank you.
We're going to move on to the left.
106 Northeast 6th of 7th Avenue, Torreon. Well, I'm here for two issues. The first issue I want to thank everybody for coming out to the MLK event yesterday. It was a great event to me. Oh, it's on. Everybody was out like having fun. I know I was having fun. Gabby, you had a good event. Appreciate you. My second question is, it's dealing with one of my friends who he got in a bad accident. Minister Bernard Wright, and we trying to find out like they put up that they got the car, but nobody ain't being arrested or nothing about that yet. Like, is this man gonna get some justice? He fighting for his life in the hospital. Like, is he gonna get any justice? They say you have the car and not the person. Like, come on now. We all, this man is a citizen of this city, and he's a candidate for mayor. For commissioner. And, he got in a tragic accident, doing what he believed, standing up with the people, and he got hit pretty good, man. That bothered me bad. And they keep seeing on the news, oh, they do have the car. Why they keep saying that? Like, why would the news keep telling, oh, we do have the car, but we're not releasing no more information after that? Like, is this y'all holding it back from us, or is it a cop's son, or a cop, or a detective, or what? Because the citizens, we need answers about this. This is a friend. This is a grandfather. He's a man of the community, and he's been tragically hit real bad, and he's going to need some help on the recovery. So I just want to know, like, what do we do? Because the community, we got questions. Like, what's going on? Nobody know nothing. Police saying they don't know nothing. Do the council? Y'all know? I don't know. Who knows? But I know we're trying to find out. Because everybody do their justice. I know there may be a friend of somebody's own, because it never took. If it were Andrew Mack right here beside us, they'd have been told us who hit him. So we asking for the same respect and honor from the department, the city department, wherever stuff got to be at. We need answers, from the family, friends, and all. So with that, I'm out.
City manager, can we have the police chief maybe have a conversation?
Yeah, Mr. Orr, if you'll go back there, you can speak to Chief Joe DiGiulio. He'll obviously, it's still an open investigation. There's only so much information we can provide in public. So, but he'll be able to fill you in on more details.
Thank you. Now I'm going to move on to my right.
Good evening. My name is Jim Sizik, 15th Street, Boynton Beach. I step up here with the capacity of being one of the veteran council leaders. I just wanted to make a point. The information that was put out on the Immortal Four Chaplains, it has two dates in here. It is in fact going off on the 29th at 2 p.m. There's an overstatement in here that says February 6th. I just wanted to let everybody know that it is in fact Sunday the 29th at 2 p.m. And the public is invited. The second portion that I wanted to say is I'm very pleased and proud that the city is begun to work with me to right a wrong. Several years ago, the impetus for the Memorial Park was through a gentleman by the name of Tom Kaiser. And he had two memorials put in, but unfortunately they were never formally dedicated. So I'm working right now with the City of Boynton Beach Recreation Department. I spoke recently with Brother Norfus. I have a handful of folks from Palm Beach County that I'm working with to, during Black History Month, to recognize the Tuskegee Airmen Monument, and so dedicated, as well as the monument to African American soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen. So I would ask the city to get behind that and please promote this. It's a long overdue and well-deserved. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my left.
Hi, my name is Christina Pierre. I'm at 535 Northwest 12th Avenue. I was here to touch bases on the same subject that Tori did. I just wanted to know what was going on in reference to Bernard and why that was kind of funny that they said they found a car in the news and not a person. But my main subject I came here to touch bases on is the fact that I came here 3 months ago in reference to some speed humps on my street and as well as some other streets. The day that one of the city workers were putting up the speed, he said that they would be there for a while so they can kind of monitor the speed. I don't know if what they monitored was not enough for them to say, hey, we need speed humps here. But I brought my kids today just to show you who my kids are and how important they are to me. And that if a stranger or anyone were to harm a hair on my child's head and the havoc I would cause on not only that person, but this city, because I've came up here requesting speed humps. Not only do I have random people speeding by my house where my kids play all day and their friends play right in the street, I have officers speeding as well. I'm not a big fan of Boynton Beach Police Department. I'm a very young person and I'm just trying to do right. And it would help if the place that I'm deciding on buying a home in the future and paying tax dollars to eventually, it would help if I know that I'm being heard. And it's crazy to me that 3 months, 4 months went by and they put up a speed sign, took it back down. I guess that was not enough to monitor speed. I don't know why they want that road to be open. It's a big high crime area. I don't know if they want it to be open to catch people who are looting or whatever, but it's just not fair to me. I work hard. My kids are very active. I allow him to ride bikes up the street and go everywhere else. Where I used to be living at, I didn't allow that. But I do here because I love the neighborhood. I love the people in it, despite of what others may think of it. And I'm just simply asking for some speed humps. And I just don't understand how monitored speed, nothing's still done. I mean, 12th Avenue, it's a very familiar area, Cherry Hill. I'm just asking at this point. I feel like I have to beg. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, if I may.
Yes.
Is Gary here, Dunmar? He's in the back. Young lady, you see that? Raise your hand again. Get with him, okay? And he will work with you, okay? All right, thank you.
In addition to that, city manager, if I can have her name and phone number, and I will personally reach out to her, if that's okay.
Gary, make sure you get all the information for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
All right. Now we're gonna go on to online public comment. Okay, go ahead. Yes, of course.
Sorry, I just wanted to say something I left out of my presentation. Just the idea for the sales fish in Boynton Beach came from Susan Oyer, as she has had many great ideas. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? I don't see anyone else in person. You have to be online at the podium if you're going to speak.
Hi, Ernest George McNolly, 710 Northeast 7th Street, condo 407, Boynton Beach, 33435, also known as Harbor Hall Inlet Club 1, related to Harbor Hall Inlet Club 2, next door. Built in 1974 by the father of the present board president. Both buildings have severe problems. After the collapse of Surfside, I started coming in here saying, you have to help us out. And the mayor and the commission told me, oh, and the city lawyer, oh no, Mr. McNolly, the city can't write an ordinance. I came back 2 months later with Boca Raton that wrote an ordinance, and I presented it to you. And they still kept saying, we can't do it. That was Mayor Graham. We can't do it, right? So then for almost 2 years, I keep coming in. And then finally, what do?
you passed a recertification ordinance and you all took all the credit for it. How come I don't get any credit? You know, the things you said to me were so horrible and wrong. And right now, what's going on in these two buildings with crime, with corruption, with phony names, with failed inspections, with cover-ups, fire hazards, dangerous elevators, drugs in the building, child abuse, everything. And you won't do anything to help us. And now, after 2 years, finally tomorrow, we're in the code court. Finally, it took 2 years for me to get this building where I live in court. And can I tell you, already I can see there's going to be a lot of cover up going on there tomorrow. And I bet the fire chief won't show up. I'll bet the code person, well, they have to. I'll bet the fire marshal, the chief, the police chief, nobody will show up with all the allegations of crime and what this HOA is doing. And not to mention, you posted a letter on my building with all the violations, right? And you have the name of a deceased mother of the builder, and they all live in Ocean Ridge. So how does the president, HOA,
30 seconds.
Mr. Carrig, claim to be the board president? I'm an owner. I never voted for him. He doesn't live there. And the building is in the name of the deceased mother. I mean, come on, you got to get together with Ocean Ridge and help us out what's going on here with this HOA. And the other thing is, there's a lot to say about cases in this, and I have a lot of information, and you're blocking us because I have a lot about a lot of crimes, deaths, murders and stuff.
Your time's up, Mr. Magnoli.
Oh, can I get an extra 15 minutes? No?
Now we're going to move on to online public comment. Manny, how many hands do we have raised?
Vice Mayor Cruz, we have one hand raised.
Okay.
Our first speaker and only speaker is Ace Tilton Ratcliffe. Ace, you've been unmuted, but you're self-muted. Please click the microphone next to your name. Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Ace Tilton Ratcliffe. I live at 142 Southwest 13th Avenue, Boynton Beach, Florida, 33435. I'm also a member of the City Arts Board, and I'm very proud of everything that we do here in the city and the work that Glenn and Veronica and the rest of the team do to make our city beautiful. And I am so proud of the Connect Biennial. I hope that everyone who is there today will attend in person because it's really shaping up to be an incredible event. And I also wanted to state that as a queer transgender member of the City of Boynton Beach, I am proud every single time that I drive over the LGBTQIA intersectional flag, just for those of you who want to be bigots about us but can't get our acronym correct. I'm proud every time I drive over that. I'm proud every time I see that inclusivity in our city. I am proud to know that I am part of the board that made that happen. And Cindy, your sisters don't talk to you because you're a bigot. Thank you.
Okay.
Please.
Let's not use language here. Okay. Now we're going to move on.
Please, order.
All right. Now we're going to move on to 5 administrative. Approve the request of Commissioner Woodrow Hay to distribute $1,000 of his community support funds to Boynton Strong.
So move.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. 5B, approve the request of Commissioner Woodrow Hay to distribute $1,000 of his community support funds to the Heart of Boynton Community Association.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Now we're going to move on to 5C as in cat. Announce vacant positions on advisory boards. We don't have any applications.
One
Yes,
second, Vice Mayor. There was a resident, Bill Swiner, had submitted an application January 2nd for the P&D alternate position. I don't see that up here. Can we confirm that? And if possible, I guess, City Attorney, can we make a conditional appointment, or does he need to be on this list right now?
Well, I think if you want to say provisional appointment, assuming you got the application and are qualified, if you would like to move forward and the colleagues are comfortable with that, I don't see an issue with that.
I'm not sure if he submitted, if Bill submitted his application. Do we have that, Catherine or Maylee?
We'd have to go back and check.
I know
I don't know
I
off
was
the
at the
cuff.
meeting when he expressed the interest at the park, so I'm just not sure if he
Yeah,
submitted
he
his
confirmed me later that evening.
Oh, he did?
had applied through the city website, correct?
Okay.
It might not have been on time to get onto this agenda, but it,
Okay.
it most likely will be on the next agenda.
Okay, no problem.
So you're saying you did receive an application? Is that what I'm hearing?
We're unsure, I think. So let's, I don't think there's any,
Do you know when he applied?
January 22nd.
Oh,
January 2nd, I'm sorry, January 2nd.
I would have no objection, but I certainly would want him to put in an application first.
He did. We're looking back for it. So let's do this. Let's wait till the next commission meeting. That way we can be sure it's there and, there's enough time and we'll be good to go.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
all right. Sounds good. Now we are going to go to 5D, city manager, travel plans from the commission.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Turkin expressed interest in attending the National League of Cities Congressional Cities Conference, March 26th to the 28th. It's in Washington, D.C. He'll meet influential federal decision makers, learn about crucial new programs, and discover the tools to further support and protect our community. Cost of the trip is roughly $2,500, which is budgeted in each one of the commissioners' budgets for travel. So that was approved. And then I need to get a list of which commissioners and see whether or not the mayor going to attend Palm Beach County legislative days this year. It's going to be March 7th through the 8th in Tallahassee, Florida. I just need to know who's going, and once confirmed, we'll get the registration taken care of. And if you see, I've provided each one of you with a schedule of the events. So, and this is an annual event that's held every year. So
Thank you, city manager. Do we have any comments from any of my colleagues?
I have one more thing.
Yes,
March 7th is the commission meeting. So we'll have to look at possibly rescheduling that.
Do we want to talk about that now?
We can.
Well, I would tell you that if you are going to look to move the 7th, we need to know soon, because as you know, there's some time sensitive applications coming through for those projects that we discussed the last meeting. So if you were going to move the 7th, it would be great if we could know that like tonight, and we can make sure we make the proper notice. We have time to notice those things from March 7th, but keep that in mind if you're going to consider going, and we need the quorum for those meetings.
I think it might be worth it to at least start discussions on that because, I mean, we are against the clock. We do have 2 meetings in February. I know the second one is February 21st, and the first, I don't have my calendar in front of me.
The 7th and 21st of each month.
7th and 21st.
And then once you guys decide whether or not you can make the reservation through Kendra, she'll take care of all your itinerary plans. So
Thank you. Do we have any ideas?
Can we move, would you guys be open to moving that meeting a week back?
To the 28th?
The February 28th? Get a Tuesday marathon going?
I'm not sure that's going to give enough time. There's some ordinances.
Okay.
Those
what
items are
about,
ordinances.
March 2nd, maybe?
And, we're going to we have notices that have to be published for ordinances and whatnot. That's why the 2-week gap works for the project that we're working on. Later that week or the following week, but the following week, as you know, is election. So, if you are going to move the 7th and the 8th is off, you might want to look at March 9th.
Because the 6th could be a travel day because it is Tallahassee and people might be driving there.
The 9th, maybe?
March 9th?
The 9th, or maybe consolidating.
On a
No,
Thursday.
we decided we're moving the 14th already, right?
if you
14th, you wouldn't have a meeting.
Because
That's just
we
election
already-
night.
Right.
if it's going to be easier, if you guys want to consolidate and have one meeting in March, we could do that as well. So
Can we do that?
yeah, that's possible.
How does everybody feel about
Good
that?
to go.
Well,
Are you fine with that?
can I suggest something? Why don't, since you don't have to shoot from the hip tonight, we started the conversation. If we can put something on the agenda for the next February 7th. That should give us enough time to know what the notices should be for a March 9th or versus March 7th
Oh,
meeting.
I thought you said that you wanted.
I wanted to get it. I don't think we need to know. I'm looking at Catherine to make sure that we're comfortable knowing on the 7th whether that meeting, the February 7th, whether that meeting could move to the 9th of March or that week. I wouldn't want to move it sooner though.
Right. I think that you're comfortable to decide on the 7th what the date of the March meeting, but just understand that there may be some time compression issues that may force you, or not force you, but may bear in favor of you looking at an earlier date rather than a later date in the month.
So we'll decide on the 7th, right? I think that's what.
What I recommend is just put a discussion item on the 7th for attendance at Palm Beach County Days and possible rescheduling of the March 7th meeting, and put that on February 7th agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds
Sounds
good.
good.
Let's
Thank
do
you.
that.
Thank you, Catherine.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Right. Now we're going to move on to 12 legal.
Consent agenda.
What?
Consent agenda.
Consent.
Oh, sorry, I was switching the page. I apologize. Thank you. We're going to move on to 6 consent agenda. Do we have any items that want to be pulled from the consent agenda? Commissioner Turkin,
I'd like to pull 6B.
Boy, anybody else?
6A, please.
6A, Commissioner Hay?
No, 6A has already been pulled.
Okay, sounds good. Can we go ahead and have a motion to approve the remainder of the consent
So
agenda?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Now we're going to move on to item 6A. Approve and authorize the use of federal forfeiture trust funds to purchase equipment and services from Accent Enterprises, Inc. for 5 unmanned aerial vehicles in the amount of $48,712 via the Accent Enterprises contract PD 23-015, Resolution R22-168, and a sole source equipment purchase from American Locker in the amount of $15,570. Total use of treasury funds is to authorize $64,282. Do we have our police chief come up and speak about this item? City manager? How do we-
Sorry, I think we're going to have Major John Bonifair, who actually put together the program, and he'll be able to give you the granular details.
Evening, everyone.
Good
evening.
Evening.
This one's on. Thanks. All right. Is there any specific questions you have?
Commissioner Kelly?
I wanted you to just kind of go over what the purpose for these vehicles are, how this is going to benefit the residents, how it's going to benefit the police department. And, I know we're, and just, what the purpose is. Because I think it's a nice new feature that the police department is bringing in. I think it'll benefit the residents and the police department in the city.
So our drone program is essentially what we call a force multiplier. It just gives us the ability to do more with the manpower we currently have. Currently, we have almost, I think last calendar year, we had 310 missing person cases. The drones would be utilized for that. And those include, obviously our older folks with dementia, young children. This just gives us the ability to see a large area quickly. Obviously, we can't have a helicopter come in all the time. So this would allow us to accomplish that. So the reason we asked for 5 drones is that the goal is to have 2 or 3 drones available, ready to go at any moment, 24 hours a day, so that we can get them there quickly and get them deployed quickly and hopefully have a good resolution. Obviously, in criminal activities, if we have, or we're looking for somebody It gives us the additional ability to do that. In addition, we are going to purchase a mapping program that'll allow us to reconstruct traffic homicide, crime scenes, things like that in a very quick and cost-efficient manner. So we can map a crime scene in 15 minutes as opposed to shutting down an intersection and mapping it over a period of 4 hours, which we currently do.
Thank you, Major Bonifair. Commissioner Hay, do you have any questions or comments?
I'm just thinking, will this drone program communicate at all with the traffic lights in any way, shape, or form?
What it would allow us to do, the Florida state statutes are very clear as far as traffic enforcement, but it would allow us to monitor traffic flow. Most of the traffic flow issues that we currently have in the city can be corrected, but it's a long process of making that determination. The Department of Transportation has to come in, they have to do studies, and it's long. So if we have a specific thing, like if there's construction and we can change the actual traffic pattern, we could utilize the drones to do that kind of thing. But that would be, it wouldn't be traffic enforcement. It would simply be to monitor the flow of traffic in the event of an emergency, something like that.
You know, other cities that have this type of program in our area?
Yes, because we utilize the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office drone program, Delray Beach Police Department's drone program, and the Florida Highway Patrol drone program, who will be working with us in the near future to help develop it.
So this would be 3 drones?
A total of 5. The 2 drones that 2 drones will be night capable, so they'll be able to. They have thermal cameras on them, so we'll be able to see heat signatures from people walking.
Okay, would this be viewed in our complex over here at the station, or will there be additional?
Yes, so we do have the
screening?
ability. The reason we pick these particular drones is because we'll be able to put them into the real-time crime center. They'll be able to be viewed by the supervisors and watch commanders on scene. And in addition, all the video will be placed into our evidence.com, just like the body-worn camera footage, and will be audited and viewed and checked on periodically.
Excellent. Very good.
All right, Commissioner Turkin.
So this will be the first drone program that the city's had, correct?
Yeah, I believe there might have been some experiment with drone, but this will be the first official one.
And prior, we would rely on PBSO or Delray for mutual aid if we needed their drone program.
Yes, if they were
As
available.
a city for 80,000, third largest city in Palm Beach County, and we're asking a city smaller than us to help them. I think this is a no-brainer. I think it's a great opportunity to utilize technology for intelligent-led policing. And, I think the caveat is I think people might be concerned if there's any invasion of privacy. Can we get some rest assurance there?
Well, think of, if I was to sum it up for you, if you couldn't see it from standing out on the street side, you would need a search warrant. So although we will be flying, for example, if we flew over the mall during the holiday season to monitor the parking lots, okay, under Florida state statutes, perfectly legal. If I'm going to watch an actual residence, I need a search warrant, just like I would do any other sophisticated surveillance. So it's very clear on the use and what we need to do it. And there will be those occasions that we have to do that, but we will do it with a search warrant signed by a judge. So.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that, Major.
Commissioner Hay.
I obviously support this program completely, but will there be an additional training required for the operators of these drones?
Yes.
And we will have how many roughly I know you're going to have backup to the backup to the backup.
Correct. So right now, included in the package that we want to purchase includes the training. And right now we're looking at 10 operators, and eventually we'll probably expand that incrementally over time. The idea is to have the drones available very quickly. You can imagine if somebody was walking and it took 20 minutes to get the drone there, that's 20 minutes walking. Anybody can do it. You'd be several miles away. So it kind of defeats the purpose. So we're really trying to get the drones up within 60 seconds of arrival, kind of that kind of thing.
Excellent. Motion to approve.
Thank you, Major. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations. Now we're going to move on to 6B, proposed resolution number R23-009. Approve and authorize the mayor to sign ARPA subrecipient agreement for the Wounded Veterans Relief Fund to provide housing support for homeless veterans and veterans on the verge of homelessness for a total amount of $50,000.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. John Durgan, Economic Development Manager. Staff has been working with Mr. Mike Durkee and his staff over at the Wounded Veterans Relief Fund to finalize their scope of work as part of the ARPA subrecipient agreement, which is before you tonight. If the agreement is approved, once it's fully executed, staff will be able to administer those funds to the organization. And I know Mr. Durkee was going to try to make it tonight virtually if he wanted to say a few words, so I'll let him speak if
Is
he's,
he online right now?
I'm not sure if
Manny?
he's on virtually.
John, could you repeat the name again?
Yes, it's Michael Durkee.
Michael. Yes, we do have him. Michael, you've been unmuted, but you're self-muted. Please click the microphone next to your name. Thank you.
I'm unmuted now?
Yes, sir. Thank you for.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you again for supporting our veterans. So right now we're looking at helping out our veterans that are faced with homelessness and then about to be or on the verge of homelessness. And so we'll use the funds to help out with rent and mortgage assistance, temporary shelters to get them off the streets and put them in hotels, and then also work with the VA to identify long-term housing solutions for our veterans. And then also, and that includes initial move-in costs for our veterans. So that's where the money will be allocated.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions or comments from my colleagues?
You just answered my question, so I'm good. Thank you.
Nope. Thank you, Mike. Thank you to my colleagues and city staff for getting this together. I think this is a great program. And, we're setting a precedent by utilizing ARPA funds to help a community that is forgotten, the veteran community, and also local veterans. So I think that's important. And again, I just want to thank you to my colleagues for supporting me on this and supporting the organization.
Thank you. And yep, thank you all. No more
I
comments
just
for
think
you.
it's another no-brainer. We just have to do this for our vets.
Absolutely. Thank you all for that. And thank you. City Attorney, do we need to have any public comment on any of these items, or are we good to go? Move forward. All right.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations. Motion passes unanimously. Now we're going to move on to 7 consent bids and purchases over $100,000. Is there any item that my colleagues would like to pull? Commissioner Hay?
No, I don't have any.
All right, anybody want to make a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion from Commissioner Hay, second from Commissioner Turkin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Consent bids and purchases has been approved. Now we're going to move on. We don't have public hearing, and we don't appear to have a city manager's report. We don't have unfinished business. We're going to move on to 11 new business. We have item number A, discussion for an ordinance regarding tints and paraphernalia shops requested by Commissioner Turkin. Commissioner Turkin, do you want to begin?
Ure. I kind of touched on it last commission meeting. I want to see if it is possible, what it would look like to entertain an ordinance or some type of regulation to provide tint for paraphernalia shop, in the downtown corridor. As you know, on Ocean and Federal, at that southeast corner. You know, I call it bongs galore. You walk by and there's all these smoke and water pipes in there. And this is our downtown area. This is where children and families are walking around. You know, I've already been reached out to several HOA presidents about this item saying, hey, he's bringing up what the people are thinking. And that's if we're going to revitalize a downtown area, we need to do something that we're proud of and something that invites families, you know, and that looks good. I don't think it's a good appeal in that area. I understand, you know, small business, you know, we want to do our best, but I think we need to look at, you know, what that corridor is going to look like and how we can, you know, amp up that curb appeal. So I don't know if the city, if this is something that is possible, or if it's walking a fine line.
Well, it's something I have to take a look at. I wanted to hear exactly what it is that you wanted to propose, and I will have to look at it when you pick like one business out for another business out for different treatments. We
Right.
have to look at some issues, but it's something we can look at.
I want to bring up one thing. I want to know, because I know, and I think we've all, who's sitting in the city commission meeting, we've all seen adult novelty shops that have tinted windows, things of that nature. So I'm assuming that's along the lines what Commissioner Turkin's looking for.
Correct.
Well, I just want to take a look at it. I know that there are some things that, you know, you can do, regulatory and whatnot. Again, I wanted to hear what the thoughts were, and with that information, I can look and see if there's any problem, work with planning staff and whatnot to see what proposals we could do for that.
Sure.
You know, again, it may be different than adult entertainment, but it might be the same. I just have to look at that.
Right.
Give me some time to get back to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Any more comments, Commissioner Kelly?
Just one just question is maybe staff can look at some area municipalities to see if they do anything similar, what they do. My concern is the city going to have any sort of negative impact if we are reducing or jeopardizing somebody's revenue? So I want to make sure that we're, they came into this lease with windows wide open, with that ability to advertise or that ability to just, and are they going to lose business by their windows not being able to be seen? So that's my concern, and that's one thing that I just would like answers when we circle back around on this issue. I would like to hear that.
I think what we have to look at is whether or not whatever business is put in place, yeah, it is zoned for retail, but whenever you walk by that business, is it shocking to the public's morals? And obviously that's a legal precedent that we have to look at other cities, because if there is precedent, it's been said, I'm sure.
And the point about the expectations,
right,
of when they went in there was something we'd look at as well.
Thank you.
Valid points. Yeah. Commissioner Hay, any comments?
No.
All right. Then we're going to go ahead and move on to B. Commissioner Kelly, you mentioned adding officers from the police department. I didn't get to write the whole thing, but do you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, no, I just, following budget hearings and budget conversations, following conversations with the chief, and also after the PBSO proposal, we learned that the Boynton Beach Police Department is we know they're understaffed, but they're also, it's not allocated. The staff isn't allocated. And so I wanted to have a discussion with the commission on, with the next budget hearings coming up, should we allocate for those officers that we already know that we're down, so that we're not going into the budget kind of behind the 8 ball and then talking about it then. So that was the reason to bring this up. Boynton is growing. We are already, by standards, if we were fully staffed, we would be understaffed. So I just am kind of thinking that maybe we stay, ahead of it, and at least they're allocated. It's not going to affect our current budget cycle, but it's something to think about, is to have them allocated and on the books.
Do we want to bring our police chief to come and make a
Yeah, I
comment on
know.
that?
Yeah, this past budget year, I know we added, I want to say 21 additional firefighters to our public safety. So, and I know we have not allocated any additional police officers. Obviously, with all the the downtown area being built over the next 3 to 5 years, it's, especially in District 3, Commissioner Turkin's district, it's going to increase that populace. Chief DeGiulio, who's at the podium, he'll be able to elaborate a little bit more on the studies you're referencing, Commissioner Kelly. So,
Joe Giulio, Chief of Police. So last year, I know we kind of got started late with the new administration, but there was a request for 6 officers and a supervisor. And part of that request was, going back to Commissioner Kelly, what you stated is that even at full staffing of 156, we would be 1.93 officers per 1,000 residents, which is slightly below the 2.1, which is the regional average. 2.1 would put us to 169. So we were still below the curve, even when we were at full staffing. And as the city manager alluded to, we are looking at increase in volume in our traffic, as well as our density in our downtown district in the future. And I know Commissioner Turkin, you mentioned last commission meeting about a downtown policing unit, and we've been carving that out because last year that was one of the goals that we had. And we definitely want to have an additional district or zone in the city, which would be a downtown district. And we already carved it out with the reporting areas and have it basically the infrastructure established from a patrolling perspective. And that would be 4 officers in addition to what we currently have just there. We also want to beef up our community relations unit and add the additional sergeant and officer in that position as well.
as far as the community policing unit, I remember probably about 10 years ago, I think you were actually part of that unit, Chief. I know we had 2 separate units. We had a community action team. We had a CRA team that was a bike patrol unit. Is that along the lines of what you're discussing as far as like a downtown policing unit with the 6 additional officers?
So it would actually be in addition to. So we do have in our organizational chart, we do have what we call a community response team, which is a citywide unit that has 4 officers and a sergeant. It's not staffed at this moment. We also have the CRA policing unit, which I know last commission meeting we talked about. It's going to be a clean and safe model. That will be 3 officers. So this would be in addition to it. And it wouldn't necessarily be a policing unit. It would just be a district where we would have just the same set of officers patrolling it. That way you get to really know your business owners and know the people that are in the city downtown area, as well as our visitors. So it wouldn't be necessarily a unit, it would be additional personnel for the patrol staffing. The community relations unit, city manager, that would be something different that we haven't had before. And the goal on that was to house our PIL, as well as our crime prevention officers. And we also want to start pushing forward our Explorer program again. We haven't had Explorers since COVID, so we definitely want to relaunch that. I think it's important to have a community outreach officer in that unit and a supervisor dedicated just for those missions.
Did you look at the possibility of having the same officer as part of the NOP as well as the business? Would that be a conflict of any kind?
It wouldn't be conflict. I mean, the CRA unit encompasses the downtown district, so they would be doing more of the proactive patrolling. The layer I'm talking about is just the normal patrol from the calls for service, the routine police work. Our clean and safe would be available for those larger projects and working on cleaning Federal Highway and the downtown area, as well as the greater CRA district. So it would be part of what their mission is as well. But having the downtown policing unit is no different than having an additional zone. But then you would always guarantee you have an officer staffed in this particular area, 24/7, 7 days a week.
Chief, do you have a budgetary impact as far as what 6 or 5 officers and 1 sergeant are going to be?
Well, for this fiscal year, there wouldn't be a budget impact because
they're vacant.
There's vacant. We're still working on our current vacancies. The fiscal
23,
impact would be
24.
correct.
Do you have numbers for that or no?
The 6 officers is roughly $600,000.
Okay. I know, and this goes back to our earlier HR discussion we had with the HR director. I know I'm going to throw out ballpark figures. I still got to know whether or not these funds are going to be allocated to the general fund. I also have to make a decision whether or not to put those funds back towards making the city's insurance cheaper for the employee. I know currently right now they pay $771 per family plus a $5,000 family deductible, which essentially equates to about $14,000 for each family. And hardly anybody in the city is currently on the family's health insurance. We got employees that are on Florida Kid Care, which are like for obviously underprivileged families and things like that. So we got to look at the funding aspect of it. If it's going to be $600,000, maybe I can half it. I want to say the amount that, and this is not, I don't want to make undue promises, anything like that. Currently, this is very, very tentative. I know the numbers that Tennille showed me, the HR director, they're right around $1 million to 1.1 million. So if that money can go back in the general fund, maybe we can look at using a portion of that to not only fund the officers, but also we can use it to maybe offset the cost of the city's health insurance a little. So.
Yeah, I think it's something to think about. We definitely need more officers. We know that, but can we be agile and maybe combine the NOP program of the CRA, which how many officers is that? 2?
It's 3.
3. So let's say it's just throwing something out there to think about. Obviously, it's going to take time and we're going to look at the budgetary. I just want to be very, we understand public safety is very important to us, and we've mentioned that before. At the same time, we want to make sure that we are responsible with the budget and making sure that, you know, the decisions that we make today are going to be the brand new standard for the future, obviously. So it's something that, you know, I would like to support that as well. But I would like for us to see if there's anything we can do to maybe combine or work together. But again, I'm not an expert in that field. Commissioner Turkin.
I want to remind my colleagues that public safety is our #1 concern for the city, which we all addressed at our strategic vision and planning workshop. And so Commissioner Kelly, I commend you for bringing this up. You took the words right out of my mouth as far as the city developing and growing and becoming more dense and the populace rising. I don't like to play catch up. I like to stay ahead. In reference to the budget, I know Mr. Temple is working very hard on a couple studies that can help, you know, fill those gaps, so to speak. I don't want to get anyone excited. I don't want to speak too soon, but, you know, this is something that, you know, I have been gung-ho on with city staff to make sure that we can be fiscally responsible while we're keeping our community safe. I don't think consolidating the NOP program with the downtown policing unit would be fair, because there's a lot of ground to cover. I think 3 officers, you know, and I don't know the amount of square miles. I think given that responsibility, then you'd be stretching too thin, is what I personally believe. And you know, from some conversations too, it's a lot of ground to cover. And you know, the NOP would be a little bit. I think the mission statement's a little bit different from what the downtown unit is. You know, the NOP is more, you know, building relationships in the community, whereas, you know, the downtown, you're building relationships with those businesses there, and then also keeping people safe and regular patrolling. So I think we do need to be responsible, but I don't think consolidating is the right approach. I think that, you know, the studies that we have going on, you know, looking at where we can pull funds from is a solid way to deliver on our promise to the city for promoting public safety as our #1 concern and issue.
Any more comments?
No, I just want to, you know, just say, I mean, the reason that I brought this up is so that we're being proactive and we're thinking ahead, because now we're in this cycle of being short and we can't catch up. And so as we're adding, you know, officers, some are leaving. So I'm just wanting us to just be mindful of, you know, how can we stay on top of this so that, you know, in 5 years, you know, it's going to take, Chief, how long does it take to go through the process of hiring somebody pre-academy, through the academy, through training, and get them on the street to where they're actually working?
It's a year.
Do we hire people pre-academy?
We do.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we're
I
also
know.
sponsoring now.
Yeah.
Now, if I just want to get some clarity from the commission, would you guys want to see 6 additional positions added to the police department for this budget year, or do you want them added and wait until the budget workshops of 23-24 in July?
Looking from a recruiting perspective, I think it's responsible to do that now. So that way we don't have to hold back and wait.
And yeah, I'm not asking for a vote. I'm just looking for consensus because I can put it in the budget.
That's good.
I mean, I think it's important. I think it's important that we stay on top of the numbers and where we are. We know what we need. We know we need traffic enforcement. We know, just like Commissioner Durkin said, public safety is our number one, and we have to invest in it. If we're not going to invest in it, then we're behind the 8 ball. And so it's really just a matter of staying on top of it and making sure that the police department has the appropriate officers allocated for what this city needs and what the residents deserve to have on staff.
All right, Chief. Looks like you got 6 additional positions you're going to have to get filled.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I just want to say one thing. Thank you guys for your super efforts for recruiting. I know y'all are working really hard, and you're thinking outside the box, and really trying to do the best you guys can. So I appreciate that, and I know Sergeant McDevitt is working hard too in the recruiting team. So thank you guys.
It's a full agency initiative. It's not just the training or the command staff. We have the officers doing the recruiting. We have our road patrol sergeants sitting on the oral boards. So it's everybody's involved. It's all hands on deck, and it's showing really good results right now. Also, is that everybody can look at it and so they had a part in how we're reshaping the Boynton Beach Police Department. I think that's important. So thank you.
Thank you,
Chief.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and move to 12 legal. 12A, proposed resolution number R23-012, approve and authorize the mayor to sign an agreement for the exchange of real property between the city and Boynton Beach Town Center Apartments LLC. Attorney, can you please introduce the item?
Thank you, Vice Mayor, members of the City Commission. This is one of the items that is on the list of items to move forward with the redevelopment of the town center project. Town square. So what this does, and Catherine Rosmel's here, who's worked on the transaction with the Time Equity folks. Piece of property the city owns at Seacrest and Boynton Beach Boulevard would be swapped with them for a property they have under contract with JKM located along Ocean that would facilitate their proposed development. And the reason this is coming to you now is because there's a due diligence period that needs to be done. And there are certain steps that have to be done before this becomes effective. At this time, I'll turn it over to Special Counsel Catherine Rosmel, who will walk you through the contract and if you have any questions.
Good evening, Catherine Rosmel, Special Counsel with Lewis, Longman & Walker, here on behalf of you guys. Just to walk through the basics of the agreement, Mike really covered it pretty well. It's essentially a land swap agreement. There is no money proposed for exchange. The exchanges of the 2 parcels. I'll read you the legal descriptions here momentarily. And it's really just to keep this project moving forward. Now, to be clear, if the development agreement is not approved, either party can cancel this contract. So no land swap would occur without that. And similarly, if Time Equity and JKM were not to close on a deal, then this property transfer would not move forward. Again, this comes to you now as opposed to later on in the process because it allows the parties to perform due diligence as is done with every real estate transaction. It is a shorter timeline than normal. It's 25 days. The reason for that is the city fairly recently owned the property. It has some history on the property. The title work will require updating, but it's not as extensive as it might normally be. So this is just the next step in continuing that process. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I do want to make one additional note. I believe that the copy before you does not contain the actual legal descriptions of the property. So I'll just read those in for you all. They've been described to you, but just for the record, Exhibit A, which is the BBTCA parcel, which is the one that the city would retain at the end of the transaction, is described as parcel 3 of the Boynton Beach Town Square, according to the plat thereof, as it is recorded in Plat Book 127, page 1 of the Public Records of Palm Beach County, Florida. And Exhibit B, which is the city parcel, which is the one that Time Equities would end up with at the end of the transaction, is described as Parcel 1, Boynton Beach Town Square, according to the plat thereof, as recorded in Plat Book 127, page 1 of the Public Records of Palm Beach County, Florida. So if you all have any questions, I'm happy to answer
Thank
them.
you. Do I have any questions or comments from my colleagues? Commissioner
No.
Turkin?
Yeah, I see that there's 2 private appraisals here, and then the county appraiser value was a little over, just under 4.5 million for the town center apartments, and our parcel is 1.9 million. Do I see that correctly? Okay. That makes me feel a lot better, and we need to get things going. So yeah, I'm okay with this.
Any further comments from my colleagues? Then I'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
Motion from Commissioner Turkin, second from Commissioner Hay. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Got to vote.
roll call?
Wants
Roll call.
to speak. Public.
Oh, thank you, City
Roll call.
Attorney.
Before you take the vote. the
Yes,
motion's
sir.
on the
Thank you
table.
for that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and open up the floor for public comment. Anybody who wants to make a comment on this specific agenda item can stand up now and make a line. I'm gonna give it a minute. Do we have any
Yes.
speakers? If not, I'm just gonna
don't
go ahead
have
and
any
move to
speakers.
online comments.
You know, whole private conversation.
It's this, okay. All right, Manny, do we have any hands raised online for public comment?
Vice Mayor Cruz, we do not currently have any hands online. Or I just want to make comment. I'd received a note before the meeting, just to let you guys know I do have Mark Lynn online, attorney, in case he wanted to make any comments on this item.
Mark Lynn represents the other entity in this deal, and I just asked him to be available in case you had questions from their end of the transaction.
There are no questions from my colleagues. We have a motion and a second. I'm gonna go ahead and take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, that comes to a conclusion of our fast and efficient city commission meeting. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Hold on.
Motion to
I do
adjourn.
Yeah,
have one.
and now, yes, sir.
Oh.
Commissioner Hay?
Yeah, I would like for this commission to consider for future discussion, some type of penalty for destruction of political signs. I've noticed certain individuals removing, cutting up, destroying signs, and I don't know if we could do anything about that. But maybe we could need to have the discussion of some type of ordinance or some kind of misdemeanor. I'm not sure what we could do. I'll leave it to the legal, but we need to put some teeth into the destruction of those signs.
There may be already tools that can be used. I can get with someone at the police department and I can research how it's being handled. Some state statutes might apply to it as well, but I'm pretty sure it's property. It belongs to somebody. If you destroy it and you get caught destroying it, I've seen it prosecuted under statutes similar for vandalism or theft or any type of things that exist. But we'll take a look and see if there's anything more we can do.
Okay, the thing being just to make sure that people know that ahead of time before they just arbitrarily cut up somebody's sign.
They say about the law, ignorance is, we'll work on that though.
Okay.
All right, one more item that since I guess we're gonna go through like last minute comments. If anybody has any. Commissioner Kelly, do you have any additional last minute comments?
I do not, thank you.
Commissioner Turkin?
You go.
All right. I do want to add to a future agenda, looking into a potential policy for regulating medical marijuana shops nearby schools. I don't know if I know I've heard that from constituents before. I don't know if there's anything that we could do about it. I've seen a lot of those businesses come up. But is that something that's
I
going to be in a
think
future
West
agenda?
Palm is doing a moratorium currently. I think I read an article doing a moratorium on that. Can legal take a look into that?
The last I heard, and I'll double check the statutes, is that you can ban completely, but if you allow it, you got to regulate it the same as pharmacies. That's under the state statute. So if we don't have distance requirements, say for pharmacies, we can't do it for this specific dispensaries. With state statutes, it says you're allowed to completely ban it, but if you allow it, it's got to be regulated the same as a pharmacy is in your code.
Wow.
So let's
But
look
you
into
can, I
that.
think there's a moratorium on how many can be
Around school
operating in
zones.
the city.
I don't know, but I can research
Yeah.
it. But the law is that as I understand it, you can have a complete and utter ban, but if you allow it, you can't do it any more stringent than pharmacies.
Makes sense.
Perfect. And
Okay.
so I definitely want to make sure that we
If you
have
want-
that at a future agenda.
I'll research it and get with staff and see what we got. Okay.
And then I would like an update on the Airbnb. I know we talked about this quite a while ago. And I really wanted to focus on making sure that any sexual predators are not able to stay in the Airbnb also next to school zones. So not sure when that's going to come up to the commission. I know it's something that we talked about a couple months ago, but if we could have an update on the status of that at some point in the near future would be great.
I want to say, Adam, is Mike Rump still working on the short-term rentals? So that's going to fall within the umbrella of that, correct?
Sure. Adam Temple Development Services. Yes, Mr. Rump is working on that. There is a draft already that's been worked on, so that'll be making its way to the commission very soon.
Thank you. Any further comments? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's been adjourned.